Good afternoon, everybody. You're listening to Lake Stevens Vikings varsity baseball for game number 11 of the 2019 varsity baseball season here from Kamiak High School in Mukilteo, Washington. After a delay and a push back to the original start time for today's game, originally it was going to be played on yesterday, April 5th. We now have some high school baseball. The Lake Stevens Vikings coming off losing to Ryan Lynch and the Monroe Bearcats by the final score of 7-0, while the Kamiak Knights are coming off easily their best win of the season and the biggest win of the entire conference season so far, beating the previously undefeated Jackson Timberwolves by a score of 13-3 in 5 innings here at Kamiak High School. The Lake Stevens Vikings will be starting Tate Bruss in his first varsity start of the 2019 season against the Kamiak Knights offense that had 14 hits, which are the most that they've had all year. The Kamiak Knights, they are 2-8 overall with a 1-3 conference record. Lake Stevens, a winning record of 6-4 with a conference record of 1-3 as well. When we come back, it'll be the top of the first inning. Instead of Tanner Lynn leading off, it'll be shortstop Hunter Zalasko, followed by Tanner Lynn, and then Theron Perkins against the Kamiak Knights here in Mukilteo. And we are now back at the top of the first inning. A windy afternoon, a 5 p.m. start time here at Kamiak High School. The freshman Sana O against Hunter Zalasko, and Hunter gets hit on the leg on the very first pitch. Instead of a shot to the back, the game will start with a shot to the leg, and Hunter Zalasko leading off. And I'll bring up the left fielder, Tanner Lynn, number 23, the starting pitcher, the freshman, number 16, Sana O. No wins and 1 loss, an ERA of 3. He has thrown 9 in the third innings, allowing 5 hits, 4 earned runs. He has struck out 3 and walked 14. And Sana, first pitch, fly ball. The lineup for the Lake Stevens Vikings, as told by manager Josh White, Hunter Zalasko, Tanner Lynn, and Theron Perkins, the third baseman. The cleanup hitter is Aaron Lampinen, and at the 5 spot is the catcher, Trey Long. The pitch, low outside. Zalasko going to second, and the throw will not be in time, as it'll be a wild pitch by Sana O, and the Vikings have a runner in scoring position. As we just get into this game in the top of the first, here is Tanner Lynn. Again, the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. And the 1-1 by O. Low, ball 2. Timeout by Kamiak, the catcher, number 13, Wes Garrett, and Nick Lahman, the shortstop, walking over to the mound. And the defensive positions for the Kamiak Knights, as told by manager Kevin Agnew. On the mound is Sana O. Behind the plate is Wes Garrett. On the infield for third base is Ethan Norris. Shortstop is Nick Lahman. Second base is Leo Furlong. First base is A.J. Riley. The 2-1 pitch. In the dirt, ball 3. Zalasko staying at second. And in the outfield, it'll be at left is Damon Kraus. Center field is Cyrus Veneta. And at right field is Alex Ripke. Count now 3 balls and 1 strike. And the 3-1, Sana O looking at second towards Zalasko. The pitch, low, ball 4. And the Vikings have runners on first and second to start the top of the first inning. Now we have the starting third baseman, Theron Perkins. The hottest hitter on the team statistically. Oh, the first pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. The ball getting away from the catcher, Wes Garrett.
Nice hustle. Here we go. Go, Zach.
And the runner goes, Alasko, fly ball, foul. Alasko had to jump to third and would have to go back to second. Count is now 0-2. And there will be a couple defensive changes as well for the Lake Stevens Vikings. Again, Trey Long making his second start of the year behind the plate. O steps off. Tanner at first, Hunter at second. Count stays at 0-2. Oh, the windup of the pitch. Fly ball, that's foul. Goes over the Lake Stevens dugout along the first base side.
Here we go, Hunter.
Count staying at 0-2. And Sana'o the pitch outside. Slow ball, 1-2. The freshman having trouble with his control, 14 walks in 9 1/3. Count stays at 1-2. It is this game and the Glacier Peak Mariner game. There were two games that were supposed to play on Friday, but instead were moved to a later date. With this game being the only game played today on Saturday, April 6th, with the Glacier Peak game going on. This one off the mound for a base hit for Theron. Hunter is riding around third. Tanner staying at second. The throw is cut off by the first baseman, and Lake Stevens is on the board with an RBI single by Theron Perkins. It was a ground ball off of the pitcher's mound and going into center field. Tanner moves to second, and it takes the first three batters to get the Vikings on the board 1-0 here for the cleanup hitter Aaron Lampin, the second baseman. First pitch, low, ball one. And the 5-hitter on deck is Trey Long. The 6-hitter is the starting pitcher, Tate Brust. At the 7th spot is the first baseman, Bailey Corley. At the 8th spot is the center fielder, Cameron Austin. And at the 9th spot is the right fielder, number 11, Devin McWaters. The count 1-0. Tries bunting for it as a ball 2. And for the lengths, for the outfield, at left field is 305 with a high fence. Right field is 330 but with a low fence. And at dead center is 370 feet. 2 balls and no strikes. Sana'o looking at Tanner at second. The windup. Tanner goes. Ball 3. Throw to third is not in time. As Tanner gets a stolen base, his 12th of the year. Theron goes to second. He gets a stolen base as well. Count is now 3-0. Lake Stevens entering this game with a winning record. The 6 wins and 4 losses. Kamiak, they are 2 wins and 8 losses, 3-0. Hard hit ball, this one going into left field. 1 run's going to score. Theron is riding around third. That goes all the way to the wall. And Aaron is going to stay at first. It'll be a 2-run single. He was stuttering right near the first base bag, wondering if he could go to second, but he'll stay at first. And it looks like they're going to take Sana'o out of the game already. Yes, they are. After not recording an out, the freshman is out of the game, and it'll bring up a new pitcher. As O will now go into the outfield. He'll play at right field. It'll be number 8, Alec Harshaw, who will be the new pitcher for the Kamiak Knights. Let's take a quick break here at the top of the first inning. Lake Stevens, they take a 3-0 lead over the Kamiak Knights with a new pitcher already after the starting pitcher, freshman Sana O, could not record an out. And we are now back into the top of the first inning. Lake Stevens, they have a 3-0 lead over the Kamiak Knights, and it forces Kevin Agnew to bring in a new pitcher. Here's Trey Long, a chopper to the third baseman, bobbles the ball, throws to second, is in time for one. It is not in time for two, as it'll be a fielder's choice. It gets the first out off of the first pitch.
Hey, Tater, drive him the other way, kid.
And a fielder's choice, the first batter for Alec Harshaw. Now bring up Tate Brust, the starting pitcher. Oh, only throwing 16 pitches through the first four batters. First pitch outside, ball one. Currently no innings, no recorded outs, 16 pitches, no hits, and 3 earned runs. Ball two, throw to second is not in time, and Trey Long has a stolen base. Count starts at 2-0. Harshaw, no wins and 1 losses. No wins and 1 loss, an ERA of 7.24. That pitch, a strike one looking. Count is 2-1. His 6 appearances this year, 0-1, an ERA of 7.24. He has thrown 9 2/3 innings, allowing 14 hits, 10 earned runs, walking 9, striking out 7. My mistake. And the 2-1 pitch, Tate Brust gets hit on the arm. The second hit batter by Kamiak pitching this inning. And once again, the Vikings have runners on first and second base. Here is Bailey Corley, the starting first baseman. Timeout. There'll be a pinch runner. Pinch running for Tate Brust will be number 7, Xander Fogel. And Bailey making his first start in the lineup since the final regular season game of the year last year. First pitch, a strike one looking, but he was the starting pitcher. Bailey, he was a pinch hitter in the last game back on Wednesday against Monroe, where he grounded out to the pitcher Ryan Lynch, who threw a complete game shutout against the Vikings. The 0-1, a hard hit shot going to the shortstop, off of the glove of the shortstop, Nick Lahman. Trey goes to third, and a run will score. To throw cut off by the first baseman on the mound. And off of an error by the shortstop, a run will score. Trey will score from second. Xander will go to second base, and the Vikings now lead 4-0. Here is Cameron Austin, the center fielder. Cameron, a .227 average, a bunt going down the third baseline. Throw to first is not in time. A perfect bunt by Cameron Austin. And the bases are loaded. That one rolling down the third base line, picked up by the third baseman Ethan Norris, and is not able to throw to first in time. And they'll bring up the number 9 hitter, number 11, Devin McWaters. A .375 average, 3 for 8 this year, and is 2 for 3 in stolen bases. The first pitch, inside, ball one. And Harshaw, foul ball, counts 0-2. My mistake, the count is even at 1-1. The 9th batter in the top of the first will be the junior left-hander. Xander Vogel at third base, Bailey Corley at second, Cameron at first, 1 ball, 1 strike. Harshaw, the windup. And a strike two. Count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The first 3 batters for the Kamiak Knights: Sana O, who is now the right fielder playing for Alex Ripke; Cyrus Venata, the center fielder; and Bryce Coate, the designated hitter. First, a 1-2 check swing goes past the Kamiak bullpen down the third base line. Count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. That'll be an unearned run towards Harshaw because Trey scored from second off of the error by Lahman. 1-2, Harshaw the windup. Fly ball, that's playable. Going into short left field, Nick Lahman calling for it, and he will make the catch. That is for the second out of the top of the first. That'll bring us to our 10th batter of the top of the first inning. Here is Hunter Zelasco. He got hit on the very first pitch he saw to start off not only the inning, but start off the game. And later scored. And the first pitch from Harshaw, low in the dirt, ball 1 to the catcher, Wes Garrett. And the 1-0, Harshaw, and a foul ball. Hunter getting a piece of that one as it falls and hits the fence right next to the backstop. Count is even at 1-1. Lake Stevens entering with an overall record of 6-4. Kamiak with a record of 2-8, getting a win in their last game against Jackson, the 1-1. Swung on, this one going in the left field. This is going to fall. 1 run's going to score. Bailey Corley is running around third. The throw is bobbled by the third baseman, and it'll be a 2-run single by Hunter Zelasco. And the score is now Lake Stevens 6, Kamiak nothing. Cameron Austin going to second. That'll bring up Tanner Lind, who has walked on 5 pitches, got a stolen base from second to third, and scored earlier in the inning. The ball fell right in front of the left fielder, Damon Kraus. First pitch, outside, ball 1. The reserves for the Lake Stevens Vikings: Tommy Lindgren, Caden Pattison, Colton Hogle, Ethan Jansen, Xander Fogel, Dominic Gray, Alex Keeley, and Brett Camrith. Count is 1-0. And a strike 1 looking. Count even at 1-1. Lake Stevens looking to do some more damage here in the pitch. Hard hit ball, this one going into center field, and it will fall right in front of Cyrus Venata. 1 run is going to score. The score is now 7-0 as Cameron Austin will score from second base. Hunter Zelasco going to second, timeout by Kamiak as Wes Garrett walks back to the mound again.
Dude, Cam, that was amazing.
As Theron will come back to the plate, he had a base hit that scored Zelasco. First pitch, outside, ball 1. First time around against Harshaw. And the 1-0. Fly ball for a foul, count is even. 1 ball and 1 strike. The even count, 1-1, fly ball. This one going into center field. Back goes to center fielder Venata. He's looking up. He cannot make the catch. He tried diving for it near the warning track. Theron's looking at 3. The throw cut off by the shortstop. The throw to third is not in time. Theron Perkins with a 2-run triple. The score, see if I can count this now. Lake Stevens 9, Kamiak nothing. It went into dead center field. Cyrus Venata, he was going back. He looked like he was right near the warning track and tried diving for it, and he wasn't able to make the catch. And that's another 3-bagger for Perkins. And he has now 3 RBIs and 2 at-bats. Here's Aaron Lampinen.
Hey, hitting's contagious, kid.
First pitch is a ball 1.
I'm here.
And Harshaw 1-0. Strike 1 looking. So in 2 at-bats, there's 3 batters as of right now that have 2 at-bats. That's Hunter, Tanner, and Theron. Hunter has 2 RBIs. Tanner has 1. Theron has 3 already. Aaron looking to get a third one of his own. The 1-1. Outside, ball 2. Home plate umpire and I are on the same wavelength, saying the same thing. Both saying that it's outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. And Harshaw, the 2-1. As a strike 2 looking. And the first time since McWaters that a hitter has had 2 strikes on him. And the 2-2 pitch by Harshaw, outside, full count. And a full count, payoff pitch by Harshaw. Strike 3 called, and that will end the top of the first. Lampinen thinking that was ball 4. And that will end the top of the first inning. It is 9 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on. Lake Stevens off to an outrageous start here in the top of the first inning. They lead 9-0. And who else to start on the mound than number 9, Tate Brust, as they'll face off against the top 3 hitters of the order. The now right fielder, Sana O, the center fielder, Cyrus Venata, and the designated hitter, Bryce Cote, as Kamiak tries to make something out of this. Right now the score going into the bottom of the first. Lake Stevens 9, Kamiak coming up. And we are now back in the bottom of the first inning. Kamiak trying to respond to a 9-run top of the first inning by the Lake Stevens Vikings. The starting pitcher, Tate Brust, making his first varsity start of the year against the now freshman right fielder, Sana O. First pitch, a foul ball. And the next pitch, a strike 2 looking. Count is 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Tate Brust getting Sana O swinging on the first 3 pitches. Now here is the center fielder, Cyrus Venata.
Hey, fielder, get rid of it.
And the first pitch, ball 1. Under the strike zone, the lineup for the Kamiak Knights, as told by manager Kevin Agnew. The first 3 hitters, Sana O, Cyrus Venata, and the designated hitter, Bryce Cote. The cleanup hitter is the third baseman, Ethan Norris. And the 1-0, strike 1 looking. Count is even. The 5 hitter is the catcher, Wes Garrett. And the 6 hitter is the first baseman, A.J. Riley. The 7 hitter is Damon Krause, the left fielder. The 1-1, a slow fly ball caught by the shortstop, Hunter Zelasco, for the second out of the bottom of the first. Here is Bryce Cote, the designated hitter.
I know. It's like
The 8 hitter, the shortstop Nick Laman, and the 9 hitter is the second baseman Leo Furlong. First pitch, low, ball 1 in the dirt. To the starting catcher, Trey Long. In the defensive positions for the Lake Stevens Vikings, as told by manager Josh White on the mound, Tate Bruss. Behind the plate is Trey Long for the second time this year. And the 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. On the infield at third base is Theron Perkins. At shortstop is Hunter Zelasco. Second base is Aaron Lampinen. And at first base for the first time in his varsity career is Bailey Corley. The 1-1, upstairs, ball 2. And on the outfield, left field is Tanner Lynn. Center field, Cameron Austin. Right field is Devin McWaters. And the 2-1. Ground ball going to Zelasco. To the first baseman, Bailey Corley. And Tate Bruss throws a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. Lake Stevens 9-0 after 1. As it'll be Trey Long, Tate Bruss, and Bailey Corley, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, against Alec Harshaw. As the Vikings look to go to double digits, they lead 9-0. And we are now back into the top of the second inning. Alec Harshaw looking to throw his first full inning this afternoon. He'll face off against the 5-hitter Trey Long. If the first hitter that he faced to start the top of the first after replacing Sana O. First pitch low for a ball 1. He'll face off against the 5, 6, and 7 hitters Trey Long, Tate Bruss, and Bailey Corley. And the 1-0. Low in the dirt for a ball 2. Against 9 batters in the top of the first, he has thrown 9 balls for 19 strikes and 28 pitches. Compared to 16 pitches against 4 batters for the freshman starter, Sana O. 2 balls and no strikes. It is Harshaw to Wes Garrett. Fly ball, that is playable. Called by the first baseman, A.J. Riley, for the first out. In the top of the second inning, here is Tate Bruss, who got hit on a 2-1 pitch and was replaced by Xander Fogel on the base paths. And the first pitch outside, ball 1. And Tate Bruss, compared to 28 pitches and 44 combined pitches by the 2 Kamiak pitchers. Tate only threw 10 pitches in that bottom of the first inning. And the 1-0 swing and a miss, strike 1. Harshaw tricking Tate with the curveball, making the count even at 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch, strike 2. Count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Harshaw getting control of the game and of the Lake Stevens offense from the mound. And the 1-2. Outside, count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. So for the Lake Stevens Vikings, next week they'll be playing on Tuesday, April 9th at Lake Stevens High School against this very same Kamiak baseball team. And then on Wednesday, we'll face a tough task against Cascade, the 2-2 full count. The Cascade Bruins, they played yesterday at Everett Memorial Stadium at a 7 p.m. start time against the Jackson Timberwolves. It turned into deja vu for the Bruins as they lost 1-0 against Case Matter, who allowed only 2 hits and struck out 12. The payoff pitch going in the left field. Back goes to left fielder, looking up, hits the wall. Tate going to second base, and he has a 2-bagger in the top of the second.
Way to swing your way over there, kid.
Yeah, I know. It swung like an idiot.
And Tate being pinch ran by Xander Fogel once again. As the left fielder, Damon Cruz, could not get to that one as it will hit the wall. Here's Bailey Corley. Hit an 0-1 pitch to the shortstop, Nick Laman, to which he poorly fielded the ball as it rolled into center field. First pitch, ground ball going to the third baseman. Then he throws to first. It'll be in time for the second out. Runner stays at second base. Here is Cameron Austin. Hit a first pitch single and later scored. Cameron with a chance to give the Vikings a double-digit lead here with a base hit. The first pitch. Ball in the dirt. Starts off with a 1-0.
Go 2-1, let's get it, Cameron!
And the 1-0 hard hit ball. This one going to the shortstop. No, he drops it. Throw to first is. Did he get him? Yes, he did. The shortstop, Nick Lahman, tried to catch it, but he drops it. And he throws to first anyway to get him out. It'll be the end of the top of the second. No runs on one hit, no errors. And one runner left on. Is still a commanding 9-0 lead for the Lake Stevens Vikings against the Kamiak Knights, as Tate Bruss will face off against the middle of the order in Ethan Norris, Wes Garrett, and A.J. Riley. Still 9-0 Lake Stevens. And we are now back in the bottom of the second inning here from Kamiak High School. The Vikings, they still have a 9-0 lead. Tate Bruss is still on the mound. He has thrown only 10 pitches against the first three batters. He'll face off against the cleanup hitter, the starting third baseman, Ethan Norris. First pitch low for a ball one. Norris entering this game playing in all 10 games with a 160 batting average, went 4 for 25. With 3 RBIs and a double to his name, the 1-0 hard hit ball going to left field. Tanner Lind under it, makes a diving catch for the first out. What a play by Tanner Lind. In the bottom of the second inning, here is Wes Garrett, the starting catcher. Entering this game going 3 for 25, a 120 batting average, also playing in all 10 games. With 2 runs, 4 RBIs, and also a double to his name. Also was walked 3 times and struck out twice. First pitch, a strike one looking. And Tate the 1-0 in the dirt, ball 2. And Tate the 2-0, upstairs and outside.
Get that ground ball.
And the 3-0, and a ball 4 as Tate Bruss walks Wes Garrett on 4 pitches, the 4th time this year that Garrett has been walked. Now here is A.J. Riley, the first baseman. And Tate wind up in the first pitch, a strike one looking. And a pitch, a ground ball to Lampinen, who throws his Alaska for 1, is not able to throw to the first baseman Bailey Corley for 2. They had a chance at a double play there, but Lampinen threw it low to Zalasko. And they would get Wes Garrett out at second. They would not get A.J. Riley at first. Here's Damon Kraus, the left fielder. And Tate the first pitch, outside, ball 1. Trey Long looking at A.J. Riley at first base. Have a little music malfunction here. The 1-0, strike one looking. There's a couple additions to the normal routine here for a high school baseball game. In addition to having a having music play before every at-bat. This one, a pitch, a line shot going in the left. Tanner going back. Tanner cannot make the catch as it goes to the wall. A.J. Riley is going to third, and he will go to third. Hunter, the throw to the plate. Is it in time? It is. It's in time. Yes, it is. The throw cut off by Velasco to end the inning, and it prevents a run from going on the board. A 7-6-2 to end the inning. And it is still 9-0 Lake Stevens. And Alec Harshaw will be back on the mound again. He'll face off against the 9-1-2 hitters Devin McWaters, Hunter Velasco, the cutoff man on that throw home, and Tanner Lynn, the guy who threw to the cutoff man who got A.J. Riley out at home. The score is still Lake Stevens 9, Kamiak 0. They're still looking for double digits as we go into the top of the third inning. And we are now back into the top of the third inning. Alec Harshaw back on the mound, facing off against the number 9 hitter Devin McWaters to start off the inning. Popped out to the shortstop Nick Laman to start off. First pitch, fly ball, playable. This one going in the short right field. Sana O calling for it and will make the catch to start the top of the third. Right back in the top of the order, Hunter Velasco. His third at-bat in 2 innings. It'll be the same for Tanner Lind as well. And Theron and Aaron at the 3 and 4 spots, if possible. And the first pitch by Harshaw, low ball 1. That ball gets away from the catcher, Wes Garrett. The play to end the bottom of the second inning, it was a throw from Tanner Lind to Hunter Velasco, who immediately threw it to Trey Long. Now, I immediately thought that A.J. Riley, who was the runner, was going to stay at third, but I don't know why, but he was waved home. And the 1-0 swing and a miss, strike 1. And then even though he was out by a mile, he was signaling that he was safe. Shouldn't feel good about that after what happened. Count outside in the dirt, ball 2. Just leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. Now, to everyone, he was clearly out, but just feel bad for him at the end of the day. 2-1 count, low ball 3. And we have some more activity in the bullpen for Kamiak. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Harshaw, the windup. Low ball 4. And it'll be the first walk issued by Harshaw this afternoon. It'll bring up Tanner Lind. A walk in the first inning by Sana O and an RBI single against Harshaw, both in the first inning. Of that 9-run inning to start the game off. And Harshaw, first pitch, fly ball, that is playable. Right here to Lake Stevens dugout, the first baseman A.J. Riley making the catch. And he'll go for the second out. A.J. Riley walking on the rock path right in front of the Lake Stevens dugout along the first base side. He'll get the second out of the top of the third. Here's Theron Perkins, 2 for 2. A stolen base, a run, a triple, and 3 RBIs so far. First pitch, hard hit shot. This one going into center field. That one's going to be a gapper. It is caught by Cyrus Venata. No, wait a minute. He dropped that. And Theron will go to second, and Hunter will score from first. From the angle over here in center field, it looked like he caught it. But what happened was that it got over his glove. Theron is now a homer away from the cycle. And they'll bring up Aaron Lampinen, a single and a strikeout, both in the first inning. And the first pitch is upstairs for a ball one. Lake Stevens now have scored double digits. It took 2 2/3 to do it, but they now lead by the score of 10-0. Harshaw, the 1-0, outside for a ball two. Now, for people who are unfamiliar with the rule in high school baseball, is also the same thing for high school softball as well. If a team is up by 10 or more runs by 5 innings, the game is over. That also is the same thing after 6 innings, and it doesn't really matter if it's after 7 innings because that's the average length of a game. And the 2-0, strike one looking. So it doesn't really count if a team is up by 10 runs and the game ends at 7 innings. Only at 5 and 6. They'll end in a mercy rule. 2-1. Harshaw. Fly ball. This one going to the left. Back goes the left fielder. Looking up, going back. That will hit the wall. Theron is going to score. Aaron will go to second. And Lampinen has an RBI double. It's now 11-0.
Let's go, boys!
Back-to-back doubles by Theron Perkins and Aaron Lampinen. Here in the top of the third is the third RBI of the afternoon for Aaron. It'll bring up the number 5 hitter, Trey Long, 0 for 2 with a fielder's choice. And a pop-up to the first baseman, A.J. Riley, hit a fielder's choice in the top of the first. He was the first batter for Harshaw. And then got a stolen base to second and later scored. He scored off the arrow by Corley. A slow chopper fielded by the third baseman. Throw to first is in time to end the top of the third. The Vikings got a couple of runs on the board. It is 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on. The score now Lake Stevens 11. Kamiak 0. Tate Bruss back on the mound. He'll face off against Nick Lam and Leo Furlong, and then back to the top of the order in Sana O, the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, as the Vikings try to keep this double-digit lead to end this game early. And we are now back in the bottom of the third inning. Lake Stevens, they lead 11-0 over the Kamiak Knights. Tate Bruss back on the mound. He has thrown only 21 pitches through 2 innings of play. He'll face off against the 8th hitter, the starting shortstop, number 9, Nick Laman, for the first time this afternoon. First pitch is strike one looking. He'll face off against the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Nick Laman, the shortstop, Leo Furlong, the second baseman, and Sana O, who was the starting pitcher and is now the right fielder. The 0-1 outside for a ball one. The bottom of the second inning ended with a base hit by Damon Krause that went in the left field. Tanner Lynn fielded it, threw it to Hunter Zalasko, who threw it to Trey Long at home. And the 1-1 inside, ball 2. And Tate behind the count, 2-1. Hard hit shot, this one getting into short center field. And Kamiak starting off with a leadoff single by Nick Laman. Brings up the number 9 hitter, Leo Furlong. And Leo Furlong, a .217 batting average, 5 hits and 23 at-bats. This one getting away from the catcher, Trey Long. Laman going to second off the wild pitch. A .217 batting average with 2 RBIs. That was walked 4 times and struck out 6 times. The 1-0. Slow fly ball. This one getting over the glove is Zalasko. And this time, Nick Laman will stay at third. And Kamiak starts off with back-to-back singles by Laman and Furlong. We now go to the top of the order in Sana O. He was struck out swinging on the first 3 pitches he saw back in the bottom of the first. Sana O, he entered this game with a .500 batting average of 7 to 14. which is second in the team in hits to only the number 2 hitter, Cyrus Venata, who is 8 for 31 with a 258 average. The first pitch, fly ball. That one going into short right field. Devin McWaters calling for it, making the catch. Lahman staying at third. There's a nice throw by Devin McWaters to Trey Long at home plate. And I'll keep the runners on the corners. And I'll bring up Cyrus Venata, the center fielder. He popped out to the, my mistake, he lined out to the shortstop Hunter Zalasko. So Venata, he entered today's game with a 258 average, 8 for 31, with 3 RBIs and a team-leading 2 doubles to his name, tied with Andrew Moore, who is currently a reserve. First pitch, a check swing foul. The first pitch, the reserves for the Kamiak Knights, Max Gilmore, who is the starting pitcher in the Knights' last game against the Jackson Timberwolves and won. It was the winning pitcher in that game. Will Coons, Nick Stoller, Carson Swistak, Andrew Moore, Alec Harshaw, who is now pitching, and Chris Peterson. Count is even at 1-1. And number 20, Noah Raven as well. And take the 1-1. This one in the dirt, ball 2. And Tate stepping off. And Tate the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Count is even. At 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 inside, full count. So the Kamiak Knights last season, it was the final year of the format where the top 6 teams out of the 8-team conference would go into the playoffs. They finished with a 4-16 record, 7th place in Wesco, and a payoff pitch in the dirt for a ball 4. And the second walk by Tate Bruss, and the bases are loaded for Bryce Coates. Bryce Coates last season, he was the only person on the team to get a Wesco 4A postseason honor. He was a second team designated hitter as a junior last season, going through 18 for 53 with a 340 average, 5 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 13 RBIs. First pitch, ball 1. And a timeout by Lake Stevens. Trey talking to Tate over on the mound. And while Bryce Coates had a 340 batting average last season, this season he has a 261 average. He went 6 for 23. He has scored 4 runs with 3 RBIs and so far a double. And the only guy that has hit even more than a double was the leadoff hitter, Sana O, who at one point hit a triple. Coates, the only guy from last season's Kamiak team to hit a home run, and he has yet to hit one this year. Count is 1 balls and no strike. No strikes. And a strike 1 looking, count is even. And in the last at-bat in the bottom of the first inning, grounded out to Hunter Zalasko to end the first. The 1-1 by Tate. In the dirt, ball 2. Nice stop by Trey. And the Knights last season, they went 4-16. They lost a number of their players as well. Bryce Nelson, Michael Cooper, Greg Marshall, Grant Gilmore, Logan Mickelson, Jacob Davis, and a couple of their star players as well. And the 2-1, strike 2 looking. Evening the count again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a couple of big guys that they lost on the mound was Morgan White. He is currently playing at the University of Portland. And Luke Doughton, another guy at the plate who did a lot in addition to Bryce Coates. And the 2-2 inside, full count. 3-2. A nice pitch by Tate Bruss, is not able to make it go his way. And it's another full count for Tate Brust. This time against the designated hitter. He was originally hitting for Alex Ripke. Payoff in the dirt, ball 4. Back-to-back walks by Tate Brust. That will score Nick Lahman from third. And now bring up Ethan Norris, who flew out to the left fielder, Tanner Lind, on a nice diving play. To start off the bottom of the second, still bases loaded. It is Leo Furlong at third, Cyrus Venata at second, and Bryce Coates at first. The score is now Lake Stevens 11, Kamiak 1. First pitch upstairs. Timeout by Lake Stevens, Josh White. Walking up to the mound to talk to Tate along with Trey. There's currently activity in the bullpen right next to the Lake Stevens dugout along the first base line. As the pitchers that Josh White has ready in the bullpen, Dominic Gray, Tanner Lind, Chris Cashman, and Brett Camrith, with possibly Dominic Gray coming in if Tate is not able to get out of the inning. Count stays at 1 ball and no strikes. Bases loaded. And outside, ball 2. The 2-0. Ball 3. And Tate the 3-0. Upstairs, ball 4. Another run comes in. Leo Furlong scoring from third. Venata going to third. Coate going to second. That is 3 consecutive walks for Tate Brust. As if I had to guess over in the bullpen, because of the order that Josh White put on the lineup, it is Dominic Gray currently warming up. And now here is Wes Garrett, who has walked on 4 pitches. First pitch, a foul ball as it rolls past the third base line. Score is now Lake Stevens 11, Kamiak 2, bringing the margin back down to 9, which means that there is no longer a possibility for a mercy rule. The 0-1 goes outside for a ball 1. And the 1-1 swung on fly ball. That is playable. Trey is under it behind home plate and will make the catch for the second out. And here is A.J. Riley. He hit into a fielder's choice and then was thrown out at home by a mile to end the second inning. He is the 8th batter of this inning for the Knights. Timeout by Riley. Last season, Riley had a .217 batting average, 3 runs, a double, and 4 RBIs in 11 games. And today he is 2 for 7 in his 4th game this year with a .286 batting average. Entering today, Tate. First pitch. Fly ball, that is foul for an 0-1 count. It is 2 for 7 with a run, an RBI, and a double under his name. He has been struck out 3 times, hasn't been walked once this year. The count is 0-1. Upstairs, ball 1. He has not been walked once this year. He has struck out 3 times. Count is even at 1-1. Cyrus Venata at third, Bryce Coate at second, Ethan Norris at first. And the next pitch, a ball 2. Kamiak threatening to get some more runs on the board. 2 balls, 1 strike, a chopper. This one getting to Tate, who touches the first base bag, and it will end the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll look like he would overrun the ball and would go to the first base bag, but instead he will pick it up while running towards the first base bag, and it will end the bottom of the 3rd inning. It is 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left on. The score is now Lake Stevens 11, Kamiak 2. A new pitcher for the Kamiak Knights, and that is number 12, Chris Peterson. As he will pitch in the top of the 4th inning, it'll be Tate Brust, Bailey Corley, and Cameron Austin as the Vikings try to get another double-digit margin as they currently lead by 9 once again. And we are now back at the top of the 4th inning. Kamiak, they get a couple runs off the board, and they get rid of Lake Stevens' double-digit margin. They lead by the score of 11-2 over the Kamiak Knights. And a new pitcher for the Knights is sophomore number 12, Chris Peterson. No wins and no losses with an ERA of 7.64. Faced it off against Tate Brust. He was hit in the 1st inning, had a double in the 2nd, and was stranded at second base. First pitch, a ball in the dirt to the catcher, Wes Garrett. They'll face off against Tate Brust, Bailey Corley, and Cameron Austin. And the windup in the 1-0. Low in the dirt, ball 2. And Harshaw, 3 innings of relief. He threw 57 pitches, allowing 7 hits, allowing 8 runs. 2 of them are earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout, and hit a batter. And is currently with a no decision, 2-0, outside ball 3. And Peterson, in his 4th appearance, he has thrown 3 2/3 innings, allowing 4 hits, 4 earned runs. He has walked 5 batters and struck out 4 entering today. And the 3-0, strike 1 looking. And Tate, with the performance he had in the bottom of the 3rd, didn't have a pretty good reaction when he got back into the dugout. The 3-1, a ground ball to the 3rd baseman, who throws to first. It is in time for the first out of the top of the 4th. Here is Bailey Corley, 0 for 1 with a run scored. He got on base in the top of the 1st off of an error by the shortstop, Nick Lahman, and then grounded out to the 3rd baseman, Ethan Norris, in the top of the 2nd inning. And the first pitch from Peterson. Inside, strike 1.
Let's go, Bailey! Hey, dugout, come on! Let's go, Bailey! Right center, gap, kid!
And Peterson, the windup in the 0-1. In the dirt, 1 hopper. 2 Garrett, count is even at 1-1. As before the game, the team and I were just talking about who would hit a home run over the fence. And the 1-1, strike 2 looking. And there was a couple of people who could say that it's actually tough to hit over that left field fence. The 305 feet, it's a high fence, very similar to Glacier Peak. But it's because of the wind that's been coming through. And the 1-2, that is a slow roller, fielded by the 2nd baseman, who throws to first in time. Is a slow fly ball that was fielded by the 2nd baseman, Leo Furlong, who throws to A.J. Riley in time for the 2nd out. Here is Cameron Austin, 1 for 2 with a single, and later scoring, and then a ground out to the shortstop, Nick Lahman. And Peterson, first pitch, hard hit shot. This one going into left field for another base hit for Cameron Austin.
Hey, Hunter.
Now bring up Devin McWaters, the 9-hitter. He is 0 for 2 with a pair of flyouts. First one to the shortstop, Nick Lahman. Second one to the right fielder. At the time, it was Sana O. It is now back to Alex Ripke. First pitch. Strike one looking. And the 0-1 outside. Count is even at 1-1. One of the things that Josh White told his team before the game was to have some offensive control, because in the last game, the Vikings didn't really have that against Ryan Lynch. The 1-1. Foul ball hits the fence behind home plate. Count is now 1-2. And that was something that the Vikings didn't have when they faced off against Ryan Lynch, because there were guys that were swinging in the same motion that they were in the first at-bat. Runner goes. Garrett, the throw to second, not in time. It's another stolen base, this time from Cameron Austin. Count is now even at 2-2, and Cameron, now with his 8th stolen base of the year, he is 8 for 8. And now there's a run in scoring position. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2 by Peterson. Inside, full count. And the first full count for Peterson this afternoon on the 4th batter, the payoff. Fly ball that is in foul territory. The third baseman, Ethan Norris, calling for it and will make the catch to end the top of the 4th inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on, as the score is still Lake Stevens 11, Kamiak 2. And there will be a new pitcher for the Lake Stevens Vikings. That will be Dominic Gray. He'll face off against the bottom 3 hitters of the order in Damon Krause, Nick Lahman, and Leo Furlong, as the Vikings try to hold on to this 9-run lead. And we are now back into the bottom of the 4th inning. Kamiak, they trail by 9, and the Vikings bring in a new pitcher in sophomore Dominic Gray. He'll face off against the number 7 hitter Damon Krause, the left fielder. He got a base hit in the 2nd inning that almost scored A.J. Riley from second, but after a couple of nice throws by Tanner Lynn and Hunter Zalasko, they prevented that. First pitch low for a ball 1. Tate Bruss finishing his afternoon, 3 innings, throwing 51 pitches, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, no strikeouts, and a wild pitch, and is on line for the win. The 1-0 by Gray. Low, ball 2. Gray making his 6th appearance this year. No wins, no losses, an ERA of 3.85. In 9 1/3, he has allowed 7 hits, 5 earned runs. He has walked 10 batters and struck out 10 batters. 2 balls, no strikes. Gray upstairs, ball 3. And Josh White pulling Tate out after he threw 30 pitches in that bottom of the 3rd inning. The 3-0, low, ball 4. Kamiak starting off with a leadoff walk to Damon Krause. Now here is Nick Lahman, the shortstop. He started that 3rd inning with a base hit and was one of the 2 runners that scored. And the first pitch from Gray, strike 1 looking. And Tate Bruss, he entered today's game pitching in his 3rd game. He had no wins and no losses with an ERA of 2.33. Gray, the 0-1. And outside, count is even. Another close call by the home plate umpire. And the 1-1, strike two. Nice pitch by Gray. And it brings the count down to 1-2. And Gray throw to first. To Bailey Corley, not in time.
Need to practice, that boy.
Here we go.
Hey, get that run out.
And the pitch, a ground ball going to Zelasco. Nice snag. Throws to second. Throws to first for two. No! And now Josh White's going to talk to the infield umpire. He is saying that the runner Damon Kraus ran into Aaron Lampinen at second base, preventing Furlong. My mistake, Furlong is at the plate, is preventing Nick Lahman from getting out at first. So it will be a fielder's choice for now. And Josh White talking to the infield umpire about the runner's interference. This is something we haven't seen that often this season. It would either mean that it would be just one out in the bottom of the fourth or two. Regardless, it's an out regardless. But Josh White has learned from especially manager Roger Anderson, who used to coach here and whom White used to play for, is to be a really good negotiator.
Hey, we're getting out.
As always, calm and collective. And it looks like the call will stay as a fielder's choice, as Leo Furlong will come up to the plate. First pitch is a ball, gets away from Trey, and Lahman will go to second on a wild pitch. And so on Friday, in addition to Jackson beating Cascade 1-0, Monroe and Mount Vernon also played. And the 1-0. And a strike one looking, the Furlong. It was Mount Vernon playing against the Monroe Bearcats down at Monroe High School. The Bearcats won that game by a score of 4-3, and it brings them tied with Cascade and Jackson for first place in the conference. A 1-1 low, ball two. So the standings currently in the Wesco 4A Conference, Cascade, Monroe, and Jackson all tied for first with 4-1 records. The 2-1 inside, ball three. Mount Vernon currently taking the sole number 4 spot with a 3-2 record. And the next 3 spots taken is Kamiak, Lake Stevens, and Glacier Peak. The 3-1 low, ball 4. And Kamiak has runners on first and second. Here is Sana O as Kamiak goes back to the top of the lineup. Or my mistake, it'll be a pinch hitter for Sana O. It'll be Chris Peterson, who is the new pitcher. First pitch, low for a ball 1. Ball gets away from Trey, is not able to throw to third. And the 1-0 pitch, a strike one looking. There are no stats currently of Peterson at the plate. But considering that he is mainly a pitcher, we can just only assume that he probably just went 1 for 2 so far this year. And a 1-1 pitch, a fly ball that goes over the fence, over the Lake Stevens bleachers onto the practice football field behind the Lake Stevens dugout along the first base line. Dom is ahead of the count. At 1-2, the pitch, line shot, off the glove of Lampinen. 1 run's going to score. It's Furlong going to third, and the throw cut off by Bailey Corley. It's a 2-run single by Chris Peterson. And it's the same thing as the last inning, the number 2. The first 2 hitters, the 8 and 9 hitters for Kamiak score. The score is now 11-4, and Tanner Lind will now go to the mound for the Vikings here in the bottom of the 4th. It is 1 out, runner on first, and Lake Stevens now has a 7-run lead with Tanner on the mound, and Brett Camrith will now play at left field for the Vikings. And we are now back in the bottom of the 4th inning. A third pitcher for the Lake Stevens Vikings is the senior Tanner Lind. First pitch low for a ball 1. Dominic Gray taken out of the game after only a third of an inning, throwing 17 pitches, allowing a hit. Currently 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts while throwing 2 wild pitches. The first pitch to Cyrus Venata, a ball 1. This one a ball hit into the hole in left field to the left fielder Brett Camrith. Chris Peterson going to second. And Tanner Lind's outing starts off with a leadoff single against him by Cyrus Venata. Here is Bryce Coate. 1 out and runners on first and second. And Tanner, his second appearance after he threw 3 2/3 innings of relief. And got the win. First pitch inside, ball 1. Trey stepping out. Looking at second. And that'll be number 5, Alex Ripke. He will be hitting for Bryce Coate. And Lind the 1-0. Fly ball, that is playable. Shallow right field. That one is going to fall. That is a diving catch by Cameron Austin. Running all the way from center field. He makes the catch in short right center. Now get him for the second out. And that'll bring up Ethan Norris, the third baseman. Keeps Venata at first. Peterson at second. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. And a swing and a miss, strike 2 against Norris, the third baseman. And Lind, his first appearance since he pitched against the Meadowdale Mavericks, where he threw 3 2/3 innings of relief and got the win in that game. The 0-2 upstairs, ball 1. In that game, he threw 3 2/3. He allowed no hits and no runs. He walked 2 batters and struck out 3 for a very solid job, and he deserved the win. And the 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. And that will end the bottom of the 4th. Kamiak, they get a couple more on the board. It is 2 runs off of 2 hits. No errors. And 2 runners left on. The score now, Lake Stevens 11, Kamiak 4. As Chris Peterson goes into the top of the 5th inning, facing off against the top 3 hitters, Hunter Zalesko, Tanner Lind, and Theron Perkins. As the Vikings try to retake authority of this game. After scoring 9 runs in the top of the 1st, they now lead by 7. And Kamiak slowly crawling back in the past couple of innings. And we are now back in the top of the 5th inning. Chris Peterson back on the mound. And the top of the 5th, facing off against the leadoff hitter, Hunter Zalesko. He has scored in all 3 plate appearances this afternoon. A hit by pitch, a single and a walk. First pitch is strike 1 looking. As the first time around against Peterson. Peterson in the 4th, he threw 7 balls for 9 strikes and 16 pitches. The 0-1 in the dirt for a ball 1. And the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And Peterson, the windup and the 1-1. And a ball 2 outside. And the 2-1 hard hit ball. This one going in the center field. Back goes Venata. Venata is under it and will make the catch. For the first out of the top of the 5th, here is Tanner Lind. 1 for 2 with 2 runs, a stolen base, and an RBI. Venata had to go back a couple steps. Right near the warning track to make that catch. The first pitch. Strike 1 looking. So next week, on Tuesday, April 9th, these two teams will face off at Lake Stevens High School. And then after that, the two teams will part ways for the rest of the season. The Vikings will take on Cascade. And the 0-1 inside, count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the Kamiak Knights will face off against the Mount Vernon Bulldogs on Wednesday, April 10th up north, and then April 12th here at Kamiak. The 1-1 inside for a 2-1. The rest of the schedule for the Kamiak Knights, it is after the Vikings, Mount Vernon, Glacier Peak, Mariner, and then Monroe. 2-1. Outside, ball 3. Well, for the Lake Stevens Vikings, after this series, it'll be Cascade, Mount Vernon, Glacier Peak, and Mariner. So they'll have a chance to prove themselves in those series. And the 3-1, a shot past the glove of the shortstop, Nick Lumen. And Tanner Lind has his second single of the afternoon. A 1-out single in the top of the 5th. Here is Theron Perkins. A single in the first inning, a triple in the first inning, later in that inning, and a double in the 3rd. He is a pinch hitter. I'm so hyped to see this guy back up. No, it is a pinch hitter, another guy who also has a lot of power at the plate. That is Ethan Jansen. Runner goes, Tanner goes to second. Garrett, the throw is not in time, and Tanner has another stolen base. And the count will start at 0-1. I was so hyped up over seeing Theron Perkins with a chance at a cycle. I didn't even notice he was being pinch hit for. Count start 0-1. Tanner at second. The pitch outside. And Peterson, the 1-1. Upstairs, ball 2. Two balls and 1 strike. Peterson the pitch. Hard hit shot. This is fair past the third baseline. Tanner will be round around third to score. And Jansen will go to second, an RBI double. And Lake Stevens now leads 12-4. An RBI double by the pinch hitter Ethan Jansen. Brings the lead back up to 8. Here is Aaron Lampinen. A single in the first inning, struck out looking later in that inning on a full count, and then hit an RBI double in the 3rd inning. And Peterson, low in the dirt, ball 1. So now, because 5 Westco teams will play in the same tournament as 7 Kinko teams, let's also look at the standings over there as well. Currently at first place with the number 1 seed is the Inglemore Vikings, taking over the Eastlake Wolves for the number 1 spot. Ball 2 as it goes outside. Eastlake, for a while, they've been ranked as the number 1 top team in the state for 4A. until yesterday when they were taken over for 8-1s. Eastlake at 7-2. A strike one looking 2-0 count.
Hey, 2 more, let's go!
Let's go, Smalls.
Come back!
Very good, baby. Let's go now, Smalls.
As Jansen states, that second throw is not in time. Pinch hitting for Trey Long will be Alex Keeley. And the 2-1. Fly ball, that is out. Nope, that looks like it's playable. Wes Garrett looking for it and can't make the catch. He could not find the baseball as it falls in foul territory. The count is even at 2-2. He overran it as it was almost a second out of the top of the fifth. A breather for Aaron Lampinen as he gets to go back into the batter's box. So currently for the top 7 seeds in Kinko, number 1 will be Inglemore, number 2 is Eastlake, number 3 is Skyline. Says here he's 6-1. There's probably a couple unreported scores there. The 2-2. Fly ball, that one is playable. AJ Riley making the catch in foul territory as Ethan Jansen will stay at second base. Pinch hitting for Trey Long will be Alex Keeley, and currently on deck, pinch hitting for Tate Brust will be Brett Camrith. Keeley currently is 0 for 1. With a pinch hit strikeout. First pitch is strike one looking. He was also a pinch runner in the game against Matt Lake Terrace and got his only run from there. So it says here Skyline is third, Issaquah is fourth. The one hopper to Garrett. Ethan Jansen going to third. And Wes Garrett saying that one hit him in the neck. And it's an unfortunate scene right here as Kevin Agnew, the manager, will walk up to check on Wes Garrett. It hit him on the neck, and then he said immediately that he wasn't going to pick up the baseball as his hand was on his neck, signaling that he has been hit there. He'll go back behind the plate. AJ Riley was immediately running towards him to see if he is better, and fortunately he was. Ethan Jansen goes to third as it's considered a wild pitch. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch, low in the dirt, ball 2. As for the Kinko standings, Inglemore, Eastlake, Skyline, Issaquah, Bothell, Redmond, who went down to 4-4 at one point. They were one of the top seeds. A very interesting downfall over there. And then the final seed will be Mount Si. The pitch, fly ball, that is playable. Nick Lahman calling for it in short left field. Now is the left fielder who was calling for it from out of nowhere, and he couldn't make the catch. Jansen will score from third, and Keeley has himself an RBI single. That's a single. It didn't touch his glove. It didn't touch the glove of the left fielder, Damon Krause. It looked like Lahman was going to make the catch. And it'll be and Xander Fogel looks like he was going to pinch run for Keeley, and then he realizes that he can't use Xander Fogel because he pinch ran for Tate. So now they're going to bring Keeley back out. Now that was some grade A miscommunication right there. It was Nick Lahman who looked like he was calling for it. And then Damon Krause comes out of nowhere and he says he was calling for it, but then he was nowhere near where the ball fell, and then he tried diving for it, and he couldn't make the catch. It didn't hit his glove, therefore it's a base hit. An RBI bloop single for Alex Keeley. The score is now 13-4. And now at the plate making his first plate appearance with the varsity team is Brett Camreth. First pitch outside for a ball one. Oh, 1-0 upstairs, ball two. And the 2-0 by Peterson, strike one looking. And Peterson looking at Keeley at first. Throw is not in time.
He knows you got swimming.
And Bailey Corley on deck. That'll be the end of the pinch hitting barrage. The 2-1, a strike two. And the count is even for Peterson. And the 2-2, one hopper, Keeley going to second. And Keeley is in scoring position off of another wild pitch by Peterson. Or another wild pitch in general. Count is now full at 3-2. And the payoff pitch. Low, ball four. Brett Camreth in his first plate appearance is walked on a full count. And now bring up Bailey Corley. An E6 in the top of the first. And then grounded out to the third baseman Ethan Norris, and then the second baseman Leo Furlong in the second inning and the fourth inning. First pitch by Peterson, inside, ball one. And Peterson, the 1-0. Low, ball two.
Yeah. Come on, lumberjack. Try to shoot that axe. Go, kid. Shot pretty good, huh? Give me a good old chop it, huh? Go, baby. Got some plenty of trees out here. Get fired, man. Let's go, kid.
And the 2-0 upstairs, ball three. Throw to first is not in time as the ball gets away from A.J. Riley, the first baseman. Keeley's going the third. Camreth's going the second. It'll be an error off the catcher, Wes Garrett. And the runners are now at second and third. And the 2-0, my mistake, not 2-0, the 3-0 pitch, a strike one looking.
All right, let's smack it. Come on.
And the 3-1 fly ball, this one getting over the glove of the second baseman. Keeley's gonna score, Camreth's gonna score. It's a 2-run single for Bailey Corley. And Lake Stevens leads by 11, 15-4. That one a bloop single over the glove of the second baseman Leo Furlong. And that brings up Caden Pattison, timeout by Kamiak, as the entire infield will come in. No activity in the bullpen, and they'll keep Peterson on the mound. Caden Pattison. It will be pinch hitting for Cameron Austin. And Patterson 1 for 15 entering today with a .067 batting average. But off of the baseball field, there's some great news for Caden. About a couple of days ago, he was signed by a hockey team known as the Maine Nordiques of the North American Hockey League after playing for the Junior Silvertips for the last few years. So congratulations to Caden for signing to a tender agreement with the Nordiques. First pitch low for a .1. Caden, apart from hockey, has always wanted to play baseball, but the problem is that when tryouts would be coming around the corner, his team would still be in the playoffs. The 1-0 outside, .2. So he never really had a chance to play baseball before this season. Now he has a chance, and he's a pretty integral part of this team. The 2-0, a line shot, that's foul, as the count is 2-1. And it is very fortunate to know that Kane has signed up for a team after high school and to further continue his hockey career playing on the other side of the country from Washington State to Maine. The 2-1, a chopper is be a fair ball, a throw from the catcher Wes Garrett is in time. And that will end the top of the fifth. The Vikings, they score 4 runs off of 4 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on. They lead by the score of 15-4. Now, we are in a situation that is rarely seen in high school baseball, but we are now on the brink of it happening here at Kamiak High School because that the Vikings are up by 11 runs. If they can get these next 3 outs, the game is over due to a 10-run mercy rule. Tanner Lynn will be back on the mound. He'll face off against Wes Garrett, A.J. Riley, and Damon Cruz. And the 5, 6, and 7 hitters to try and close this game out. The score, Lake Stevens 15, Kamiak 4. And we are now back in the top of the 5th inning. The first pitch, a fly ball foul from Tanner Lynn to Wes Garrett, as there will be a number of defensive changes. At third base is Ethan Jansen. Behind the plate now is Alex Keeley. And left field still is Brett Camrith. And a ball's low, .1, nice stop by Alex Keeley. And a chopper to Ethan Jansen. Throw to Bailey at first is in time for the first out of the bottom of the 5th. Here's A.J. Riley, 0 for 2 with the fielder's choice. And a ground out by the pitcher, Tate Bruss, to end the 3rd. So Dominic Gray finishing his stat line. That's a first pitch fly ball. This one going in the left center. This one's going to go into the gap all the way to the wall. Riley is going to go to second, and it'll be a 1-out double for A.J. Riley. Now here is Damon Kraus, the left fielder, and a base hit in the 2nd inning, and a leadoff walk in the 4th, and then was out on a fielder's choice. The Knights need 2 runs to keep this game going. First pitch inside, .1. And now Caden Patterson will play at right field. And the 1-0 by Tanner, fly ball. This one going into right field. This one going into the gap. As Riley, he is running around third and he will score. And Damon Cruz will go to second. And the score is now 15-5 on back-to-back doubles by A.J. Riley and Damon Kraus. Now here is Nick Lahman. It is the 8 and 9 hitters, Nick Lahman and Leo Furlong, who has been the life, basically, for this Kamiak offense. So far in this game, they This is the third time in as many innings that Lahman has been up to the plate. And the last 2 plate appearances he has scored. Tanner, the first pitch. A strike one looking.
Hang on. Forehead. Go, 2, 3. Come back. I see it, 2, 3. Let's go, baby.
And the 0-1 upstairs. The Vikings still with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. And the 1-1 swing and a miss, strike 2.
Attaboy, here we go.
There's currently some activity in the bullpen for the Kamiak Knights for the possibility that this game is still going on. The 1-2, a chopper back into the glove of Lind, who throws to first. What a snag by Tanner Lind. He snow-coned that ball at a one-hopper right next to the mound. And that will be for the second out of the 5th inning. Here is Leo Furlong, who has scored in his past 2 plate appearances, a single in the 3rd and a walk in the 4th. First pitch by Tanner, fly ball. This one going into center field. And this one belongs to the Lake Stevens Vikings. In 5 innings, the Lake Stevens Vikings have beaten the Kamiak Knights by the final score of 15-5. Lake Stevens getting another win in the win column, 7-4, and they are 2-3 in conference play, while the Kamiak Knights go down to 2 wins and 9 losses and a 1-4 conference record. The winning pitcher, Tate Brust, who is 1-0. The losing pitcher is Sana O, who is 0-2. Lake Stevens fueled by a 9-run first inning. They win by the final score once again of 15-5. The next game for both these teams will face off at Lake Stevens High School on Tuesday, April 9th for the second of 2 conference games. From Mukilteo, Washington at 6:52 p.m. Once again, the final score, Lake Stevens 15, Kamiak 5 in 5 innings. My name is Payne Patchett, and you have been listening to Lake Stevens Vikings Varsity Baseball.